class. I thought I would give you a quick overview of your first recorded speech, your self-introduction speech. I want to talk about the rubric on how I will grade you on this particular speech, how you record the speech, and then lastly, the delivery. So let's first talk about your recording. You could record this right into GoReact. You don't need to have a visual aid, so you could hit the link in your module and then record in GoReact and then just upload it or place it in that particular area so that I can view it and grade it and your classmates can view it and offer the peer observations. As far as delivery is concerned, I always want you to think about how you would deliver in a live classroom. So you're going to provide eye contact as if you have a full audience. You'll be standing. You'll have your camera angled so that we can see your facial expressions and your upper body and your gestures as you're speaking. So again, make sure that your camera is angled. Maybe it's on a dresser, maybe it's on a table, and we can see and hear you as you're speaking, and we could see your face, and you're providing that good eye contact. Remember, you must have at least 3 adult persons in your live audience as you're speaking. 3 adult. This can be accomplished, or you could show me that you have this audience by scanning the audience in the very beginning or at the very end of your speech. This is a policy of the department. If you do not have a live audience, I need to deduct 20%, which I do not want to do, but I do have to do that if there is not a live audience present. Okay? So your self-introduction speech, 3 minutes, you're introducing yourself to a group of people. You're introducing yourself to us, your classmates. And in any speech, we have elements, 3 elements in a sense. We have our delivery, our content, and our structure. Let's talk about the structure of this speech, or for any speech. Any speech, you're going to have an introduction, body, conclusion. Sound familiar? Like you're writing a paper, but this is oral communication. Introduction, body, and conclusion. You're going to see as we proceed in the class that we have many elements in a structured speech. But for this speech, for your self-introduction, in the introduction here of your speech, you want to gain our attention. You want to provide an attention getter. This is part of what I'll be grading you on. What is your attention getter? Are you offering a rhetorical question? A question where you're not looking for an answer? Are you offering a unique story or characteristic about yourself? Or you're offering a standard, think about 3 classic adjectives that describe you, and then tell us your full name, and then go into the body of your speech. There's many other attention-getting techniques. Look in your textbook of ways to gain the attention of your audience so that they will listen to what you have to say. So in the introduction of this particular speech, I'm listening for that attention getter. How do you start off? Do you have some kind of spin, some kind of unique way to gain our attention? And do you provide your full name? Full name, guys. We need to know who you are. That's so important in a self-introduction. Looking down in the rubric here, the body. You go into the meat of your particular speech. And for this is a quick, 3-minute speech. You're going to tell us who you are. Now, I give you suggestions of some information that you can cover, but you don't have to cover all this information. This is just some suggestions to think about who you are. A couple ways to structure this information. In your body, you could think of 3 key elements about who you are. Perhaps in your life, family, school, and work is very important. So you're going to say, today my name is Lisa Hill, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm going to tell you about my family, my career, and my schoolwork that I'm accomplishing at Hack and at other colleges. So let me first tell you about my family, and then you go into the body of your speech. Or in your body, you could think about your information chronologically, the way we think, what happens first, what happens in the middle, what happens in the future. Chronologically, Think about your life. Where were you born? Where did you go to school? Where are you now? What are your interests? And what do you see in the future? Great way to approach any type of talk, especially in an impromptu speech when you have to speak on your feet. You can think about information chronologically. Good way to provide your body, or the 3 points works as well. And then last and not least, your conclusion. Okay, so you told us a little bit about yourself and your body. Now we're coming to the end, a really quick conclusion. Here you want to give us that verbal signal. As you can see, or in conclusion, or to sum up, okay, this tells your audience that you are coming to the end, and you're going to conclude by summarizing your key points. Again, in your conclusion, give us that verbal signal in conclusion, as you can see, and then a summary of those key points that you talked about in your body. This is something you're going to be doing throughout the whole semester, so you might as well get started now in this awesome speech that you're going to deliver. So, conclusion, not long, 30 seconds or so, but be sure to give us that summary, and then you want to hit home at the end after your summary. Perhaps you would say something like, I just told you a little bit about myself, my family, my friends. Again, my name is Lisa Hill, and I'm very glad to be part of this class. And that's your conclusion. You want to provide your name again in your conclusion. You know that as you are listening to somebody speak, sometimes we daydream. So that full name is so important to be said in the very beginning and at the very end, wherever you have to introduce yourself, whether it's at work, at school, or in this speech. Okay? So there's our structure. How will I grade you on this 50-point speech? Okay, we're looking at the above criteria. Did I hear your attention getter? Did you have a good body, with good information? Did you provide enough information? Can I hear some kind of logic going on in that body? And then in your conclusion, that verbal signal, and then that summary at the end of your conclusion. Your delivery. Have you practiced this speech? Yes, you must practice this speech. Make sure that you're within your time. Are you delivering, providing good eye contact? Are you thinking about your audience as you're delivering? Are you thinking about your recording? And are you using note cards? And the reason why we say note cards is for many reasons, especially for an online class. We do not want you reading a screen. We do not want you reading cue cards. We want you to practice speaking extemporaneously, which is speaking off of key points on note cards, as if you are in a live classroom. Now, I mentioned here about practicing your speech. There's a couple ways you could practice any of your speeches. You could practice and record and watch yourself and say, oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. Maybe I need to improve on that. And then re-record it and practice it again. No problems. But what you cannot do is stop your speech in the middle and then start it again. In other words, take a retake or edit within your speech. That's an automatic F, because again, remember what we're doing is as if we are in a live classroom delivering to a live audience. So practicing, I highly recommend that you practice and view yourself. That is one of the best tools to learn how to be an awesome public speaker. But do not cut or splice or stop the recording within your speech. Okay? Let me make sure I have everything I wanted to cover. Okay, great. So I'm an email away. I went over the rubric. If you have any questions, just shoot me an email and we can chat. Good luck with your speech, and I will talk to you soon.